there.
We're back.
Hi, Gail.
Hey, Tiffany, how are you? We both have scarves on today.
I know.
I influenced her.
A funny story. My mother, of course, Mother's Day was this weekend.
Mother's Day.
Happy Mother's Day to
Same
you.
to you.
And I got together with my mom. It was great because my brother came in from Iowa.
Oh, right.
And we surprised her, and we got her ugly crying on camera, and we put it up on Facebook. It was amazing. We've always had this competition of, like, who can make mom cry.
Oh.
And so my brother's like, it's because of me, because I came and surprised her. Mom's crying again. Haha. But anyway, my mom did, being the mother that she is, said that she had watched the podcast, and she had one thing.
What?
She felt that I should wear a little more black. And me, being a color fanatic, was like, okay, Mom, here's my black, but here's my crazy butterfly scarf.
And that's great.
And I love that you always wear scarves, too.
I love them. I mean,
And our blue just brings out the blue in our eyes.
Definitely.
Yes. And my mother did another really great thing that is kind of out of her comfort zone for Mother's Day. She got me a little plaque that says, Women's Rights. And being the conservative that she is, that was, a really good. She got thought outside of herself and thought, this is my daughter doing these great things for women out there.
She's advancing. That's fantastic.
So that was right off the bat. But we are just saying. This is our third episode. We made it.
We made it.
And we don't know if anybody's been watching.
But we're having a great time.
But apparently my mother has watched at least one episode. And I had to do my hair a little bit better today, too, because it looked really ratty. But when you teach all day and, you're getting 2 programs off the ground and wearing hats and being the mother of a 5-year-old, sometimes your hair reflects the way you feel on the inside. How was your Mother's Day?
My Mother's Day was rather calm. I have 2 sons. One lives in New York City.
And the other one lives in London, across the pond.
So I spent all Sunday morning on the telephone talking to my son in New York, who has a big dog and a lovely wife, and my son in England, whose partner was painting their front door, and he was talking on the phone.
What color was the door?
Well, it's going to be mustard.
Okay.
They have a lovely home, and they've painted it dove gray. And so there's going to be a mustard
that's nice. That's a good,
door.
that balances. I like that.
Yeah. So he's planning on coming back to the States in August to work as a choreographer. And we'll be creating a Sleeping Beauty ballet for the Louisville Ballet. So he's coming to visit with Mom for a bit because he has to renew his Texas driver's license. So
Got to get that address in, man.
Yeah, right.
It's really important.
So I will see him. And my other son I'll see in September because he and his wife are coming here. She is a lighting designer, an architectural lighting designer.
Architectural. So we're used to like lighting designers for like film and theater, but this is different.
This is for like high-end apartments, like she did Madonna's Manhattan apartment, and stores, casinos, that kind of stuff.
Wow.
So she does really cool stuff.
Yeah.
So I'll see her and my son in September. So that was my Mother's Day. It was
that's awesome.
Long distance Mother's Day, but it was great.
Well, we have a really special guest today.
Oh, yes.
I'm super excited.
So excited.
As you know, as Women in Film Dallas, we have this podcast, Just Saying, at least once a month. And we have submissions of people that kind of seek us out and go, hey, we would love to be the next guest on your podcast. And this person came to us through our friend Sydney Cox, who also is on the board of directors. This year, she's serving as our treasurer.
Yes.
Last year, she was grants and scholarships, and I believe she's just hard to get rid of. I'm just kidding.
And she teaches.
She does.
In the, RTF, I guess, or whatever they have at University of Texas at Arlington.
Right.
So
Thank you, Sydney. And the name of this person is Jessica
Jastrzebski.
Yes.
I'm going to hear that again.
She's been learning German. So
now that's Polish, but I'm just saying, I've been working on
She's been working on the hush and the skush and the hawks and all the things. So when I found out that she got it right on the first time, I was like, hey, Gail, guess that if you only do one thing on this podcast today, I'm going to need you to say that word as many times as I motion for you to say that word.
She's got the Jessica down.
I'm just not going to butcher it. Yeah. I got the Jessica part down great.
And it was great. It was beautiful.
So what's happening is we're going to have this event for women in film, and it is going to be a grip electric workshop boot camp, and it's called Best Gals. And
As opposed to best boys.
yes. And her story is really remarkable. It's very heartfelt. And she's going to be coming up next. So we hope that you guys stick around. If you do have, this is the third time you've watched this podcast or the first time, please remember to like and subscribe and anything else. I guess like and
Check us out
subscribe.
on Facebook. We have a webpage also, and all the information about this workshop, which Tiffany will mention again, will be there.
Yes, June 12th. And we'll talk about it in just a minute with our friend Jessica
Jastrzebski.
Hi there. Well, welcome back. And we have our esteemed guest with us now. This is Jessica
Jastrzebski.
Yes, we got it.
I was going to lip sync that, and, you know,
I'm calling her out.
I let Gail have that one. I was like, oh, you said it right the first time? We're just going to give it to you, sister. You got this. So, Jessica, we are so excited to have you here, and we have a big event coming up that's going to be for our members of Women in Film, and it is a boot camp, correct me if I'm wrong, for women to learn the art of grip and electric.
Yes.
And you've got a really remarkable story that kind of backs that up. So tell us a little bit about yourself. And Gail, if you have anything to say.
I'll just kind of butt in whenever I want to.
And she will. And that's what I love about her.
Well, first off, thank you for having me on your show. I really appreciate the opportunity to talk about the class, and I really appreciate the support in the class and to really help women advance their career, especially in G&E and also on film sets too, because I think knowing G&E and other equipment is extremely important for anybody on set to help them.
Time out.
Okay.
So I'd like Jessica to talk a little bit about what G&E is. Okay?
Okay.
Now, there are some women who may know, but others are at the beginning of their career are just like, I want to change, and I don't know what G&E is. So can you talk a bit about that?
Sure, yes. So G&E is grip and electric. So pretty much any light that's up, there's gear that actually supports the light, anything in front of it that diffuses it, that's grip. Anything to rig it to like the ceiling or put it in a place that, you can't put on a stand, we're in charge of. Electric is in charge of the lights as well as making sure that the electricity to the lights is properly allocated and that the lights are the right color temperature for what the DP needs for this.
So this sounds like something that you'd have to be like big and strong to do, like hauling lights around. So
Furniture
you're a
movers,
woman.
right?
So, interesting choice. What's your background, Jessica?
Oh,
Yes. Tell us your story and how you got to this point and
Sure.
why you're so passionate about
Yeah.
this project.
I
'Cause
can
it's-
definitely go into that. So, a while back, I was a freelance photographer, and I always wanted to kind of go into film and start learning film, but I was always afraid to. Going back to school was a little intimidating, and
Because why?
because I thought I was maybe too old.
All right.
too old, are we?
Yeah, so we're just going to talk about that and diffuse that right
Yeah,
now.
no, and it was so
Two
silly. and it was
old
one
men
of those things.
in her 30s, excuse me.
So, and I was just so nervous about doing that. But then around that time when I started actually helping create advanced photography courses at the photography company I was at, I noticed that I had a lump. It wasn't going away. And
lump.
In my breasts. I went and had a mammogram done and a biopsy and found out that I had breast cancer. And while I was in the hospital going through the surgery and then afterwards recovering, which was like a week recovery of just being in the hospital before months of rehabilitation and going through physical rehabilitation, I said, why did I not take that class in film? I was so afraid of doing that. And when you go through things like that, you kind of think of all the things that you wish that you did. I was waiting to get the final biopsy back, finding out if it was anywhere else in my body, and just terrified. And I wish that I had earlier jumped into film and had done more things that I wanted to do. And that was one of the things. I loved movies. I would watch movies all the time. In the hospital, I would just listen to, my favorite movie is Aliens. And I would listen to poor people on Facebook. They see all my Aliens posts all the time because I love Sigourney Weaver and I loved her character of Ripley and being tough and overcoming things. And it was through movies that actually got me through my surgery and got me through the cancer process of my life. And I'm like, why did I not do that? So as soon as I was actually able physically to start taking classes, I signed up for classes at Austin Community College, and I started really enjoying film. You know, for a while I was really shy in Austin and had a hard time meeting folks because I just moved there from DC. And actually in film, I found my family. I found people that were like me, that we loved film.
I have goosebumps all over my body right now. Oh, I remember that feeling. It was so
My people.
Yes, and for a while I just felt kind of lost, and through this process of going into film class, I found folks that I became lifelong friends with pretty much. And one of the biggest inspirations was my professor, Laura DeMeo. She was one of the first female grips in Northeast that was union. So I really became good friends with her, and you know, she kind of took me under her wing and taught me lots of G&E things, and it was through that I really fell in love with the yes.
Now
That's
this is
so
great
awesome.
because you're talking about Austin Community College.
Yes.
But there are community colleges in our DFW area where you could also get those kinds of classes.
Yes.
Oh my
Yes.
goodness. I wonder where that would be. I know there's some places that teach film around here. I don't know. Maybe
So,
Mediatek. I don't know.
Yeah.
But she actually hired me for a teacher assistant position, and that's when I started mentoring other students that were beginners. And you know, once I became advanced, and once I started going on to different sets, you know, I would help mentor other students, and I really enjoyed that, and giving them tips for what it's like to be on set. If I was able to get them onto set, I would. And I just absolutely love that, and I love the excitement of seeing other people learning and falling in love with the craft, just like how I did. And but then I realized at one point, like, I only knew so much. I was just part-time doing some things on set, and I really wanted to go full-time. So that's when I started to go full-time in film. I was an AC as well, worked in G&E as well.
Let's go. AC.
Assistant camera. And then I also worked in G&E. So, and it was through that I became full-time, and I jumped in head first into that, applied to everything I could, and just enjoyed. I love being on set. It's like almost like
It's a rush.
camp.
It's very
Yes.
exciting
It
because
is.
you're all working in the same direction to make something really incredible happen.
Yes.
I have the best story about G&E. My mother, whom I love very much, that we have talked about, she was having this really lovely dinner. And at the time, I'd been doing all sorts of things. I did crafty for 7 years, like you said, just to get on set, right? I PA'd, I'd done a little AD work, all these things. And we're sitting at this really lovely dinner with a lot of my mother's friends. And she'd been bragging about how her daughter works in film and television. And everybody gets quiet and they're focusing right on my mother. And she goes, "My daughter's a gaffer." Having no idea what that word meant. Craft service, gaffer, it's all the same, right? And I just looked at her very politely and was like, "No, Mom, I'm not an electrician, but could try," you know. But it was just so funny that you just don't know what those words mean. And then when you get on set, you don't know who does what, really. And that's what you're going to teach us all about,
Yes.
which is awesome.
But you make it sound like, oh, I decided I was going to do this, and so I just went out and got a job. But I think there's more of a story there than that.
Like just how I
How you got to where you are. I mean, it wasn't just like, I'm going to go in and I'm going to be.
I'm going to start lifting weights and towing things to the grip truck.
No, absolutely. I started off actually as a PA, production assistant, and and it was from some of the alumni from Austin Community College that got me availability to be able to interview for Fear the Walking Dead, and that was one of my big shows that I was on that I
No big
PA'd
deal.
on for. Like
Fear of the Walking Dead, no big deal. This little show, it was a little tiny show.
hello, like
Yeah.
and it was just for a day player for like a giant set that we were on, and then from there I applied to be an office PA, which I helped out in the office, and that definitely
Wow, what a
Flunk
stretch. I'm sorry, but I can't see you just shuffling papers after Okay, go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, it's okay.
That's
But-
sometimes what the journey is.
Yeah,
Yes,
it's true.
No, it was
oh,
really.
you're a woman and you're trained, so go over there and make some copies for us.
No, I mean it was a little more than that because it really helped me understand the production process and understand scripts, any type of prelims that we need for the day, making sides,
Timelines.
understanding what goes into the whole process.
There's a lot of paperwork involved.
Yeah.
Yes.
Really.
No, it is, and it was really great to understand all aspects because that's what I really love about film is that yes, you can be working on set and lifting weights, but you can also be doing this or you could be doing that. There's so many different options that you can do, and then once I was on season 5, and then once that went into summer break, I started going back onto set and working on different features. A lot of them were actually in Dallas. Because what happened was I was starting to be pigeonholed into being a production assistant in Austin. So it was, I kept on getting calls saying, oh, I heard you're good. And I'm like, I'm really trying to just do AC. I'm just trying to grip. And it was hard to jump into that in Austin. And I found more and more in Dallas, I kept on getting that phone call, hey, can you go up here and grip, or can you go up here and help out with cameras?
That's fantastic to hear that there are those kinds of opportunities here in Dallas
Yes.
for women.
Yes.
No,
and
right.
then, yeah. Speaking of, when you were talking about the union earlier, there's a really lack of women in the union, correct? Can you give us some stats?
Is, I can't be official, but I'll say this. In Texas, I know 3 other professional women that grip.
3.
One of them that
3.
one's in Austin. My dear friend Amanda Moon, she is amazing. She's in Austin. And then Tanner Matthews, and there's one more young lady that I have not met yet. But there's 3.
Is that? There are certainly a lot of women in Texas. Why is that?
It really has to do with the fact that G&E's been known for some time to be very much the guys department. You have to carry heavy things. You have to exert lots of physical strength and haul lots of equipment and do it quickly, fastly, and safely. And but now that we're moving away from these huge tungsten lights, these huge setups, and we can go into LED and we can go into smaller lights, there's no reason that women can't do these jobs.
Right.
That
Technology, I love it.
right.
I love it. I love it.
And even at that too, and I tell people this too, I went from being in a hospital where I couldn't even walk down a hallway to lifting huge stands and huge equipment. Anybody can do this, whether or not it is tungsten or LED. And all we're asking for is just a chance. Please just let us step into the door and let us apply for this, or let us on your set for a day, just to show you that we can do this.
So
talk
got my
a little
goosebumps
bit.
again. All over the place.
So talk a little bit about what this workshop is going to do and who should come to this workshop. Just people who want to do G&E, or people like me or Tiffany? Or
Right.
who?
And let's say, just so you know, Women in Film, on June 12th, we're going to be having what she is doing is put together this amazing boot camp for Grip Electric. And yeah, now you can go into...
Sure. So I'm trying to make this class for anybody.
Cool.
Anybody that wants to take this class, because I think anybody can take this class, and I think it will help them on set with further skills. Whether you're an AD and you're wondering how long is this going to take for this setup, you know what goes into this setup, you know the safety that has to go into this setup, and you know how long it's going to take, and how many people are going to be that, and can I do another unit while doing this unit if I'm splitting up this. I think it really helps understand the equipment, what goes into it, and the time and the safety.
I would think even a writer, even
yes.
a screenwriter. We're going to go from this scene to that scene. I mean,
And I'm definitely encouraging lots of women that are PAs that just can't break out of being a PA just like I was, to be able to come out, learn this gear, and start applying for these jobs and say, I can be a best boy, I can be a swing, I can, work in other departments in G&E. Or just maybe you've always wanted to be a gaffer. on smaller sets, or you know,
Right.
just kind of work with lights.
There is
Thing.
design in the lighting.
Yeah.
Like
Yes.
that is an aspect of creativity that you kind of have there, and you have to have an eye for it.
Yes.
Well, one of the things that's happened in the pandemic is that people have been creating their own projects.
Yes.
I don't want to
home.
wait for somebody else to hire me. So a knowledge of these kinds of skills.
How do you
a piece
light
of
yourself at home when you're sitting in your closet doing
Right. Yeah.
something?
Yes,
Right.
no, exactly. I think that these skills apply to any department. Knowing how to open up a C-stand, knowing how to set up a light, even like the safety of knowing how to properly move something. Because I've been on set as a PA where they're like, "Oh, can you move that?"
Can you grab that knuckle for me? And then all of a sudden the arm flats right
Yeah,
on your
it's
head
just
and
about-
becomes an issue. Or so I've heard.
Yeah. But just knowing how to do that, and it's kind of intimidating. You see like this huge equipment with like all these bars and wires and things like that, and a lot of G&E isn't taught in books. It's passed down from one person to another. This is how I did this. Let me show you how to do this. This is a quicker way to do this. And so this class allows people to learn what maybe they're afraid to ask on set. Like I've always, maybe there's somebody that's like, I've always wanted to know how to set up that. How can I do that?
Now, did you get any pushback from in your journey? Have you felt any pushback or have you seen the culture change or?
I definitely have seen a lot change. There definitely are a lot of female DPs that when they hear that I'm a lady in Texas that works in G&E, they're like, hired. Like I get that a lot, that they're like, oh my goodness, like they're really excited to bring me on and to have a female gaffer or key grip on their set. So
This is going to be
definitely
really
changed.
hands-on.
Yes.
So this is about people not coming and sitting and watching you do it, but you even spoke about breaking it up into 2 teams. So
Yes.
these people. So
So what I would like to do is to break it into 2 separate groups. One is like the grip and one is the electric. I'm going to have instructors for both groups to help and just advise and make sure that everyone has their hands on equipment. My goal is in the grip class that everybody has their hands on a C-stand. And everybody at the end of the class knows how to use a C-stand and how it works. How do you open it? How do you close it?
How do
Just
you use it as a wardrobe rack?
Yes, no, I
That was
actually
half my life, really. Just can I get
No.
a C-stand for my wardrobe, please? Thank you.
I have a dear friend that works in wardrobe that said the same thing. She's
Yeah.
like, I have
It's a true
accessories
story.
on sets, and I want to be able to, like, sometimes Jeannie hands me this, and I'm like, what am I going to do with this, type of thing.
Yeah.
And she's excited. She's like, oh, I'll know how to do this. I won't, I can walk over it and even grab it if I want to, and I don't have to ask anybody. I can just do this. So
a couple of things. One is, can you talk briefly about what the life of somebody who's doing this is?
okay.
I mean, do you get up every morning and go to your job and then come home at 6 o'clock in the evening? Is it more nomad-like?
So cute.
Yeah.
Adorable.
This is
Adorable
important
thought.
for people who are thinking about this. So what
Sure.
is the life of somebody who does this? That's the first thing. And the second thing is, where do you see yourself going? I mean, do you want to be doing this for the rest of your life? Or is this a path, a step for you towards some bigger goal?
Sure. So to answer the first question, it's different. Every single sit-on is different. It has like a different call time, a different location. You could be doing an all-nighter, or you could be there at 5 a.m. in the morning. You could be split day. You could be half inside, half outside. I was on set in Corsicana in the middle of like a field in the middle of nowhere, like all day long, just kind of under the sun. Working on equipment and things like that. So and then also when I first started getting jobs in Dallas, I was still living in Austin, so I used to travel up to Dallas, crash on couches, floors, even like before COVID, like we would have like a girls' room, and some of us would be on the bed, some of us on the floor, just to kind of cram in there, just
so
to
you
kind
know.
of so you could travel and be on these sets.
I mean, I did that,
So-
but I was going to music concerts over the summer, following bands. Wasn't really making any
So
money.
watch Nomadland. That might be good.
Yes, no, it definitely felt like that. It was a lot of times like calling my friends and being like, hey, I just got this gig, can I crash on your couch this weekend? Can I go up there? And, oh, you can't, so then calling like the next, hey, can
It's
I
nice
crash
to have
on your
that
couch?
support.
Yeah.
Yes.
Which, brings me to the fact that you came to us and you found us.
Yes.
And tell us what that looked like. because we were just thrilled
Whoa,
that
Jessica!
somebody wanted to partner with us on a project like this, because women in film, that's all we're trying to do is get women work.
Yeah.
You know, I was really excited when I first had thought about this project. I was like, you know, I really want to make this big. At the end of the day, my goal is for women to walk out of this class and say, I did it. I took time to take this class. They should be able to pat themselves on the back and be excited with what they've learned too. I want people to be super excited. I'm like, who can I partner with to make this big? I want to make this big. I want people to feel big. I want this to be a female empowerment type of thing.
I think it's
maybe-
going to be
So
great.
I found out.
I can't wait to take this, and I'm an actor.
So I had to reach out to you all because you are there to advance women's careers and to add diversity to set and get us on set and just help us overall on our journey, because it isn't easy. We do deal with tough times. We do still, unfortunately, even though we're moving forward, we still do deal with some sexism and dealing with, you know, well, you can't do that, or you're just going to do this, and type of attitude.
I love it when people
So-
tell me you can't do that. I've got a bracelet that says, prove them wrong.
Yes, I had someone tell me, why can't you just be a PA?
Oh.
So I was like, so,
Okay.
yeah, yeah, no, definitely. When people kind of give me that, because I guess what they just don't realize is that I've kind of tell some folks about my journey with cancer, but if I've battled cancer and I've battled through all this toughness, and keeping me from my goals is
That's
yeah.
not-
like
that's a
is,
snag
in
yeah,
the
bucket.
So can I?
Yeah.
Is that what the pink is for?
yes, it is.
Oh, I just love that. Yeah.
So, but now you're still on your journey.
Yes.
So you're doing this right now, but we were talking before, and you said that what you would like to do is move toward being a DP.
I would love to be a DP. That's my end goal, my journey. You know, during the week I work at Panavision, so I'm hands-on with cameras
That's
all day
great.
learning about cameras, and I have an awesome boss, and teaches me stuff
Wait a
all the time.
minute.
So
You have an awesome boss, and
yeah,
say it again.
She.
She. That's what I'm talking about.
she's great. And then on weekends and then some weekdays I work as a grip. So I'm trying to get both departments. I want to know everything I can about camera, and I want to know everything I can about G&E. And then I want to merge those together to be the best DP that I possibly can.
I love your hunger. That's what's so exciting to me.
Yeah, it's
you.
very
Because you're
refreshing.
not a 20-year-old just coming out of college. You're a woman who's moving into her most productive years. That was a nice way to say that.
Yes.
And you're still really hungry.
Yes.
And see yourself continuing to move up and forward. And I just say brava. That's
Yay.
fantastic.
Thank you. No, thank you. No. It's just been, since I've fallen in love with film and fallen in love with G&E, that's just been such a drive for me. Like, I love being on set. For me, it's problem solving. It's being an adult and
Oh.
almost playing with Legos.
Love
and
it.
how do I, how do I,
Right.
What problem am I going to run into today?
Yes, and how
what
am I gonna
fire
solve
can I
it?
put out today?
yes, but it's the excitement of being able to put out that fire or solving that problem, being like, yes, I did it. And it's also about creativity and having fun, and it's teamwork, because you're always
it
working
is.
with the team. Making a film is never, usually isn't just one person. It's always a team, and having friends, having family on set that I call family, that help us and kind of work together to solve these problems. On so many levels, it's so wonderful, and it's just, I have fallen in love with filmmaking, so.
So this is going to be publicized on our Facebook page, Women in Film Dallas,
Yes.
and on our web page, womeninfilmdallas.org, wifdallas.org, and information about how to register. And it will be held at.
It will be held at
Show
Media
your chest
Tech
again.
Institute.
There you go.
I always love showing my chest.
Right.
At least I did when I was in my 20s.
And there'll be a fee for this. That's
All that stuff is under negotiations.
right.
It depends on if we have to rent any equipment or if
But
we're
it
going to
will
get
be
everything in-house.
minimal.
It will. And of course, as always, for members of Women in Film, you will get a discounted rate.
Right.
Yes, and so that's one of the perks of being a member of Women in Film is you get discounts on all of our fabulous events.
Fantastic. I can't wait. I'm excited. So this
I'm
is
so
June
excited.
June
Yes.
the 12th.
12th. An all-day
on
Saturday. Yeah.
Yes, it's going to be a full day. We'll have lunch.
Yay.
And please be looking out on your email and on social media for more from Jessica
Jastrzebski.
Yay!
I'm so
excited. Thank you so much, Jessica.
No, thank you for
we
having
appreciate
me.
it.
Fantastic meeting
Thank you
you.
so much. It's been wonderful meeting you both,
Cool.
and thank you so much for all your support and help. I'm so excited to get this off the ground and
Great.
start getting folks.
I think
in
we
the
should
class,
do
so.
it every year. We'll
Yes.
see how
Yeah,
it works.
let's see how it
That
works.
would be wonderful.
And
Oh my
let's,
goodness.
maybe there were other workshops like this.
Other
that we
workshops?
could
Yeah.
Got any ideas? Why don't you like,
Request?
subscribe, and leave a comment, and we just might do that.
And join Women in Film.
Yes! Yes, join us!
That was incredible.
It was pretty awesome, right?
She's great.
Oh, and it was so cute, you guys. After the interview, she just, how did I do? Like,
Did I get
she's not
everything
used
out
to
there?
doing this.
Yeah.
And, you and me you just have a camera on us anywhere. This is just how we are in real life. And so for her to really pull it together, but it's easy when you're really passionate about
Yes.
something and you
Yes.
know a lot about it. So that was really cool. We appreciate that. So be looking for more of that on the website and the social medias. And we really hope to see all of you there. It would be awesome. We have some other things coming up, though, before we part ways with you.
Yes, yes.
Our first thing that we'd like to share, our first thing, is going to be our Movies and Mimosas. We are launching Movies and Mimosas in May after Mother's Day, and it's going to be held on Sunday, May 16th. It'll be Awake in Addison.
Okay.
Not awake as in we're going to see dead people,
Oh, good. I see dead.
but awake as in, oh, I'm awake and it's time for brunch and mimosas.
Okay.
Which I'm always down for. And we're going to be discussing the film Steel Magnolias, which was also a play, and was also a remake that I didn't even realize until I started doing some research. In 2012, they did a remake with a black cast of phenomenal actresses with Felicia Rashad and Queen Latifah and Alfre Woodard and Jill Scott. And and so there are two different film options you
Yeah.
can check out. I know that the Lifetime, YouTube, Amazon. Go ahead and watch those films.
Fantastic.
And then when we get together on Sunday, we're going to have a little conversation. And it's got a really beautiful backstory. I've done some work on it. We'll have some discussion points. So please join us for brunch and mimosas at Awake in Addison.
Sounds good.
We'll have all that coming to you in the socials and the emails. The other thing we have coming up is Wednesday, May 26th, will be our Women's Workup Wednesday.
One this month.
Only one this month, so you guys better get on it and show up and tell us what you've been working on at Halcyon, which is on Greenville Avenue. It's a great little coffee shop bar. They're going to have some specials for us ladies.
Cool.
They're going to make us like a specialty cocktail. So it's going to be really great, and we're super excited, and we hope to see all of you there. And Gail, I think you had something to say as well.
Yes, I do. We have a newish chapter of Women in Film. It's Women in Film Television, WIFD Austin. And they are really working to put their chapter right out there in the front of the industry in the Austin area. So they have invited us in Dallas as their sister organization to May 21st, a Friday lunch and learn. And Austin is still the titular core of the industry in the state. So they have a lot of wonderful people who are in the Austin area. So it's free and you are invited. So go to our Facebook page, go to our webpage, and there should be information on there about the May 21st Friday Lunch and Learn hosted by WIFD Austin, Texas, ATX. There's also a new chapter in San Antonio. And we
wow.
are going, hey man,
That's
we are growing in numbers.
amazing. I
we
love to
need
hear that story. It's my favorite.
We need to move toward a Women in Film Television Summit
Yes,
in the
where
state
all
of
of us
Texas.
get together and we talk about the great
Yeah.
things that are happening in
Right,
our
so
wonderful
that's
cities.
down the road.
Yeah, speaking of that, I can't remember what I was going to say.
Okay, then I'll say one other thing.
Yes, go right for it.
We have this connection with WIFD US, it's kind of an umbrella organization that is promoting our local chapters, and they needed a speaker for June. And I said, hey, we have in McKinney, Texas, a producer by the name of Katie Drake Bittner, who happened to be a former student of mine. And she is a mover and shaker in producing music, political events, social events, film, docs. And she is going to be speaking about finding your niche in the new ecosystem of producing. She's fantastic. And she's a homegrown girl. So
There you
that will
go.
be in June. WIFD US. Get on that mailing list and find out about it.
Now I remember what I was going to say.
See?
Thank you. She's just always got that can opener prying my brain open over there. Okay, so all of these events are members only events. So please make sure membership is very important to us. It keeps us going. It keeps the Topaz Film Festival alive, which also we're open for regular submissions. We are partially to our goal, but we want to get to 200 films. So please keep those submissions coming in. And that's what we have going on, man.
We have now a special code for people to submit their films. It will give you a reduced application submission fee, so check that out.
Right.
And we need corporate sponsors
Corporate
for Topaz.
sponsors.
So if you have a small business or you know of someone who has a small business, get in touch with us. Say, hey, I want to put my
Help
name in the
sponsor.
program.
Yeah, and like any types of donations, whether it be food or beverages or not even just for the film festival itself, but for the people that are working. We're always looking for donations. So
help it happen. It's in October.
And thank you for tuning in. I'm Tiffany Vollmer. This is Gail.
Yes, and that was Jessica Jastrzebski.
Yes.
was our
And
guest.
we are Women in Film Dallas, www.wfifdallas.org. You can also, thank you, Media Tech Institute, and as always, the lovely Pam Berrigan. Media Tech Institute at www.mediatech.edu. Take a look at our classes. We've got acting, digital film, recording arts, makeup. All that stuff's on the website. So thanks for tuning in. Subscribe and like. See you next time.
Bye-bye.